16 was a challenging age for foreigners Johnson. Johnson had just become a mother, moved to Cape Town Township of Vrygrond, and started her career in the educare business.
My dad wasn't that loving growing up, and so my aim with my child was I wanted to give her only the best. And so when I came into Vrygrond, the first educare center within the area was Sunrise Educare Center. And I came to volunteer there just to help out, to get something, because I didn't have work, still very young, immature, not knowing where life is going, having this first child, and just wanted to make some kind of living out of it.
Skip forward 30 years and Johnson owns her own brick and mortar educare. She employs other caregivers and is essentially a training and business support center for aspiring educare workers. Now, there is a mismatch of a suburban white man explaining how township economies work. Despite hours of research, I am an outsider, and this story would be better told by someone else. My flawed explanation still holds value, especially because my suburban Braai-class brethren harbor inaccurate assumptions. For example, you'll often hear talk about how township residents should just create their own jobs or start growing vegetables instead of waiting for government handouts. Except you can't throw a vegetable in a township without hitting an entrepreneur. Take this map of Ivory Park in Midrand. The blue dots represent different small businesses. There were over 2,500 in this area when researchers from the Sustainable Livelihoods Foundation canvassed the Kasi in 2017. This isn't an anomaly. South African townships are buzzing with business. The informal work sector contributes 17% of all jobs in South Africa. But there are problems. Veronica and Mbanze are from Meadowlands, Soweto. For the last 30 years, they've woken up at 1 a.m. every morning and traveled to bustling Park Station in central Johannesburg, where they sell loads of coffee and vetkoek. The story is told in the book Carcinomic Revolution by GG Alcock. Mbanze tells Alcock, "The problem with this business is that there's no guarantee the city can remove us at any time. They tried, but all of us hawkers got a court order to stop them. But that's not a guarantee. Maybe they will try again." "Look at this table," points out Veronica. "It's an old door. We had a nice folding table, but after the second time the municipality took it, we decided to use something which did not cost us." When township businesses achieve a degree of success, and many of them do, they're more reluctant to invest in their existing businesses. The book Township Economy contains the research of the Sustainable Livelihoods Foundation that they did across 9 Southern African townships over nearly a decade. Their research also finds that township entrepreneurs are reluctant to invest. Instead, they follow strategies of disinvestment and modesty. In the formal economy, the TV camera economists will always say South Africa needs to attract investment if we are to achieve growth. Now, the same is true for the informal township businesses. This threat of police harassment is only possible because of a litany of laws that don't sync with the realities of operating in a township. Johnson's business, Educares, is a great example of how well-meaning laws can be counterproductive. The Department of Education offers us subsidies to Educares in the form of a grant. Now, it's a game changer. Staff salaries are easier to pay, children get better quality meals, and education improves. However, qualifying for this grant is a bureaucratic nightmare. Requirements may differ by province, but they often include MPO registration, audited financial statements, and most dauntingly, registered building plans. Now, to register your building, it has to be made from brick and mortar. And many township educares are built from zinc.
We had zinc structures, and under no circumstances could we register the school. With the income that we had, we could never even get there in terms of registration. But at that time, volunteers from Overbroad, they were with another organization called Project Abroad. And so they were sending volunteers to Vrygrond, and we were the first center that they actually got hold of. Erika Lean, and I say she's our ambassador. If it wasn't for her, I don't ever think Rainbow would have been registered. Because the process was quite difficult. She actually went overseas, back again home into Holland, and she got the church together, she got her primary school together, and they started to have Rainbow Fun runs. And that was how we could register our building. Otherwise, we would never, in that period, we would never have registered the building, because it was a lot of red tape processes of how you needed to do the applications, and remember PBOs, we didn't have a clue of how to write it. There wasn't people helping us, so it was quite difficult to be a new organization wanting to go this legal route of NPOs. Even though I love reading and researching and all that, just accessing it was very difficult.
Foreign funding is beyond the network of most educators, and those who can't register with the Department of Education are also vulnerable to being closed down.
And so I'm not saying that they should do away with the requirements and that. What I'm saying is they should really look at where the schools is at. And I don't think they do that at that time, because it was just blanket. Everybody must just go with the same thing. Like, we actually ask, you know what, we in a building, permanent, not temporary structure, zincs. And it was a safe space. Fire was saying, no, it is safe in the manner that what it was built in. And we still said, now why don't you just give maybe like a provisional grant or something, so that we can at least have something to go on. And this is now years back. Only now they're getting the hang and the feeling of it, you know. And
this is but one example of counterproductive laws. Everything from shabrins to takeaway businesses to garbage reclaimers can get caught in the legality net. The authors of Township Economies say that this leads to what they call enforced criminalization. They write, realistically, compliance in land management systems is almost impossible for most township micro-enterprises. They point out that businesses, many of which operate from people's homes, must comply with zoning schemes, have business floor space take up less than the house floor space, have approved building plans, and adhere to bylaws regarding health and safety and outdoor signage. The authors conclude, due to the technical and legal complexity of these measures, as well as the costs attendant with compliance, most township entrepreneurs have no alternative other than to trade illegally in terms of land use. South Africa is a tough place to start a business anywhere. In a township, you're playing the game on God mode. Now, this video hasn't even captured the problems with crime or how big corporations can outcompete township entrepreneurs. It doesn't have to be quite this tough. The authors of Township Economy reference the example of Eveline Street in Katutura, Windhoek. The Eveline Street corridor is known for its nightlife. However, most of the bars, restaurants and nightclubs operated informally and without licenses. That is, until the city of Windhoek, through a business corridor strategy, started making it easier to formalize. They rezoned the land from residential to business zoning, which took away a major obstacle that was stopping businesses from formalizing. From 2008 to 2012, the number of formal businesses jumped from 10 to 64. The total number of micro businesses in Eveline Street not only increased from 133 to 270, but the diversity also increased. Eveline Street has unusually wide road reserves, which allows businesses to pop up on the curves and for cars to pull over. The City of Windhoek also invested in CCTV and streetlights to improve safety, and bars and restaurants also started investing in canopies and seating. Now, if the story has a central theme, it is that despite the hostile business environment, township entrepreneurs are not sitting on their hands. South Africa does not have a shortage of entrepreneurs. We might have a problem recognizing and supporting them though.